Of history towering over the city's north side. St. Augustine Church sits off Hamilton, just north of Page. And tonight, there's an ongoing effort to save the historic church after a fire gutted the inside of the building. And while the building remains, new questions emerge about how the city will keep buildings like this from being lost to history. Tonight, our Nathan Vickers is looking into how a new development in a different part of town could help to answer that question.
Well, the Compton Hill Water Tower has been closed for several years now due to concerns about falling debris. But right now, there's an effort in place to try to repair it, illustrating the importance of public interest in preserving St. Louis history. A tall standpipe tower serves as a reminder of great St. Louis architecture from the city's golden years.
It's on the National Register of Historic Places, both to do with its engineering and to do with its design.
More than a century later, the tower remains a landmark, though concerns about its condition have kept it closed.
It's showing signs of cracking up.
But in the last few days, Chris Matthews and the Water Tower and Park Preservation Society have reached an agreement with the city to fund an engineering study, the first step toward making possible repairs.
Next stage should be, once we get the report, to work out what we can do in the short term and the long term. We would like to get the tower back into operation in the short term, even if it's missing a few of the little twiddly details on the outside.
It shows the role public interest can play in preserving a building, much like the bell tower on the St. Augustine Church.
I think the more St. Louis monuments that we can keep around and preserve for future generations to enjoy, I think the better.
Ryan Buell with Premier Demolition worked to keep the tower intact months after a fire devastated the rest of the church. Now the city has agreed to try and stabilize what's left.
Really, right now, we're just buying time for the next couple decades to say, hey, we need a nonprofit, we need somebody to come in here and, take charge, do something good with the property.
In the last few years, some historic church buildings have been repurposed for other uses like event spaces.
This inlaid glass is from what was once Most Holy Name of Jesus, Roman Catholic Church.
The National Building Arts Center has held onto hundreds of artifacts from other places of worship.
In some sense, this is art. I like to say that you wouldn't go to an art museum and say, oh, this painting is old, let's take it down and forget about it. But that is what happens to buildings.
But saving a structure, especially one so big, doesn't happen without the people and funding to make it happen.
I'm sure everyone remembers it and would hope that some of those people would be prepared to help save it.
That engineering study for the tower could cost around $150,000. Nathan Vickers, First Alert 4.